The sky over Earth had always been a canvas of blue and white, calm and predictable. But on this day, it began to change. People across the world noticed unusual streaks of light cutting through the atmosphere, moving faster than any plane or satellite. Cities paused. Cars stopped. Children pointed upwards, eyes wide with awe and fear. News channels scrambled to broadcast live images, showing objects that were clearly not of human origin. In the heart of Washington, D.C., the president watched the unfolding scene from the Oval Office, surrounded by military advisors and scientists. "This is unlike anything we've seen before," one of the scientists said. His voice trembled, though he tried to hide it. "Our instruments can't even measure their speed or their composition. These ships, they're enormous." "They're coming here," the president replied, his tone calm but firm. "We need to prepare." In New York, London, Beijing, and dozens of other cities, people gathered near windows and rooftops to catch a glimpse of the strange lights. The media was flooded with eyewitness accounts. The objects moved with perfect coordination, like a single organism made of hundreds of parts. Even experienced pilots and astronomers were speechless. Amid this chaos, in a military training camp on the outskirts of Colorado, a young soldier named Marcus Hale ran drills with his unit. Marcus was 27, tall and lean, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. He had trained for years, knowing that someday he might have to defend his planet. But he never imagined the enemy would come from the stars. The training officer, a grizzled veteran named Colonel Roberts, stopped the squad mid-run. His radio crackled with urgent news. "All units report visual confirmation." "This is not a drill." Marcus froze, heart pounding. "Colonel." "What is it?" he asked. Roberts didn't answer immediately. He was staring at the sky, just like everyone else. Then, almost in unison, dozens of massive alien ships appeared on radar and on the horizon. They were shaped unlike anything humans had ever built. Sleek, smooth, and metallic, their hulls reflected sunlight in strange colors. Some were triangular, some oval, some with edges that seemed to bend light. They were huge, hundreds of meters long, and they moved as if they were alive. "They've come for us," Roberts finally said, his voice low. "And I fear they think we are weak." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. Humans had always believed in their intelligence, their ability to survive, their resourcefulness. But against these enormous ships, he wondered if that would be enough. The alien fleet didn't attack immediately. Instead, they hovered silently, scanning the Earth. Satellites detected energy pulses and signals, forms of communication that humans couldn't decode. Scientists rushed to analyze the patterns, trying to find meaning in the alien signals. "They are observing us," one linguist said. "Not as friends, but as specimens." In Europe, a team of diplomats prepared for first contact. They had rehearsed countless scenarios, from offering gifts to showing strength. But none of the simulations had prepared them for this. The aliens didn't communicate with words or even sounds. They used lights, vibrations, and signals that made the humans' equipment almost useless. Still, humanity tried. Messages were sent in dozens of languages, mathematics, and even music. The aliens ignored all of it, continuing to watch with a calm, almost amused detachment. Meanwhile, Marcus and his unit were assigned to a perimeter near a major city. Their mission was simple: observe, report, and be ready to respond if the aliens showed aggression. Marcus watched the sky with a mixture of fear and fascination. "They look intelligent," he whispered to his teammate, Private Liu. Liu nodded. "They must be. Nothing that moves like that. Unless it's smart, coordinated. Look at how they fly. No collisions, no mistakes. Perfect formation." Marcus clenched his fists. "They may think we're weak, but they don't know what humans are capable of. Not yet." Back in orbit, some of the alien vessels split off from the main fleet, moving closer to Earth's surface. The largest ships descended toward the oceans first, scanning without touching the land. Scientists detected strange readings, energy fields that didn't exist in human physics. The oceans shimmered under the alien lights, waves bending in unnatural ways. On television, people watched in awe and fear. Crowds gathered along coastlines, unable to look away. Many were terrified, believing humanity was powerless against these invaders. Others felt a surge of pride, convinced that humans would find a way to survive. In the training camp, Marcus felt a mix of both. His mind raced with possibilities. "We may not have their size or weapons," he said quietly, but we have something they can't understand. We adapt, we think, we fight in ways they won't expect. Colonel Roberts approached him. You're right, Hale, and that's why we train. To be ready for moments like this. To remind the universe that humans are not weak. Suddenly, the alien ships formed a circle in the sky above the city. From their undersides, beams of light scanned the ground, sweeping across buildings, streets, and fields. The energy felt warm yet powerful, like nothing humans had experienced. People were pulled back from windows, cars stopped moving, and birds flew away in panic. Inside the military camp, sensors picked up the energy readings. It's not destructive. Not yet, a technician said. It's observation. They are measuring us. Our strength, our reactions, our resilience. Marcus felt his stomach tighten. The aliens were watching, learning, judging. And somewhere inside he knew this was only the beginning. Hours passed and still the ships hovered. Governments debated how to respond. Militaries increased patrols. Scientists tried to interpret the signals. Ordinary people went about their lives as best they could, though fear and wonder mixed in every conversation. At night, the alien ships lit the sky with soft, shifting colors, casting Earth in an otherworldly glow. People looked up and felt the smallness of their existence, but also the spark of defiance. Somewhere in the darkness, Marcus stood on a ridge outside the camp, staring at the alien lights. They think we're weak, he said to no one in particular. But they haven't seen what humans can do. Not yet, and he was right. The aliens had underestimated humanity, assuming that physical strength and raw power were the only signs of a capable species. They did not know that humans had courage, ingenuity, and a spirit that refused to surrender. As the night deepened, Marcus returned to his tent planning strategies, thinking of ways to test the aliens if necessary. He trained his mind as much as his body, preparing for the day humanity would have to show that it was not fragile, not small, not weak. Across the planet, millions of people slept under the watchful eyes of the alien fleet, unaware of what the future would bring, but united in a quiet human defiance. The first chapter of humanity's interstellar story had begun, and Marcus, like countless others, was ready to play his part. The aliens might have thought humans were weak, but soon they would discover that strength was measured in more than size or power. It was measured in courage, resilience, and the refusal to give up, even when faced with the unknown. And humanity, as Marcus knew, was ready for the challenge. The next morning, the world awoke to an even more astonishing sight. The alien fleet had not moved away. Instead, it hovered in formation over the planet's major cities. The sun reflected off the metallic surfaces of their enormous ships, casting long, strange shadows across oceans and continents. The sight was breathtaking and terrifying all at once. Humans were not used to such a display of power. Yet no weapon had fired, no missile had launched. The aliens remained silent, observing. Governments and military leaders held emergency meetings in capitals around the globe. The United Nations convened a special session, with ambassadors and scientists gathered to discuss how to respond. Everyone knew the world was on the edge of history, though no one fully understood what the aliens wanted. In Washington, D.C., the president addressed the nation. "Citizens of Earth," she began, her voice calm but resolute. "We face an unknown presence above us. These beings are not hostile, yet. But we will not act recklessly. Humanity has faced challenges before, and we will face this one together." Meanwhile, Marcus Hale and his unit were deployed to a high-altitude observation post near Denver. The soldiers were nervous, though Marcus tried to keep his team focused. He had spent countless hours training for situations like this, yet nothing could fully prepare anyone for the sight of enormous ships silently hovering above their cities. Colonel Roberts stood beside him. "Hale," he said, "this is more than a training exercise. These aliens are studying us. Every move we make, every reaction, they record. They want to measure our strength and maybe even our intelligence." Marcus nodded. "Then we need to show them who humans are, not through weapons alone, but through courage and action." Across the world, civilians gathered in parks, rooftops, and open fields to witness the first real moment of contact. Some were afraid, some fascinated, but all shared a sense of wonder. People from Tokyo to Paris stared up, unable to comprehend the scale and technology of the alien vessels. Children clutched their parents' hands, their wide eyes reflecting the lights from above. Then something remarkable happened. The aliens initiated a sequence of signals. projecting beams of light from their ships in carefully controlled patterns. The beams scanned cities, forests, and rivers, moving in ways that seemed deliberate. Scientists scrambled to interpret the readings, sending data to supercomputers for analysis. It became clear that the aliens were not attacking. They were studying. They are observing us as if we were specimens, muttered Dr. Elena Rivas, a linguist and expert in alien communication. She was stationed at a research facility in Madrid, working to decode the energy pulses. They seem curious about our movements, our reactions, even our fear. In Colorado, Marcus and his unit watched as one of the ships descended closer to the ground, hovering over an empty field. A beam of light scanned the area around them, yet it did not harm them. Instead, it felt almost like a probe, measuring, analyzing, recording. Private Lou whispered, "They're watching our every move. Do you think they respect us?" Marcus shook his head slightly. "Not yet. They probably think we're weak. But humans are clever. We adapt. We find solutions where others see none. That's what they don't understand." Suddenly, the beam shifted and focused on a nearby rock formation. It scanned and emitted soft pulses, and then, to everyone's surprise, a holographic image appeared in the sky. It was the first direct attempt at communication from the aliens. The image was abstract but recognizable, geometric shapes moving in complex patterns. Scientists and military officers alike studied it carefully, attempting to interpret the meaning. Dr. Riva stepped forward. "It's a message," she said. "They are trying to communicate, but not in a way we can easily understand. These symbols, they might represent actions or intentions rather than words." Across the field, Marcus felt a thrill of anticipation. "They're curious," he said. "They want to see what humans can do, and we will show them." Meanwhile, the aliens conducted another experiment. Smaller drones separated from the main ships, moving to different parts of the city. They projected fields that seemed to test human movement, observing how people reacted. Civilians instinctively moved to avoid the beams, while scientists recorded every reaction. Marcus realized the implications immediately. "They're testing us," he told his team. "They want to see our speed, our reactions, our decision-making. Everything counts." As the day progressed, reports came in from around the world. In Brazil, a man had improvised a clever way to redirect one of the alien drones away from a crowded street using mirrors and sunlight. In India, a group of engineers quickly rigged antennas to interfere with a scanning beam. Every small act of ingenuity was observed by the aliens, their massive eyes, or what Marcus imagined as eyes, taking in every detail. Colonel Roberts approached Marcus as he studied the drones. "This is remarkable," he said. "Humans are thinking, adapting, creating. These aliens may have underestimated us. Every clever action we take is proof that humans are not fragile." Marcus nodded, determination burning in his chest. "They think strength is measured by size and power. But we have intelligence, courage, and creativity. That is our strength." As the sun began to set, the alien ships changed formation, hovering above major cities in a grid-like pattern. Lights flashed in patterns, and for the first time there was a sense of rhythm, almost like music in their movements. Civilians and scientists alike watched in awe. It was both beautiful and intimidating. In New York, a small team of engineers used the alien signals to create a makeshift translator, projecting their own patterns back into the sky. The aliens paused, their beams flickering as if reacting to human ingenuity. Across the globe, similar attempts were made, humans finding creative ways to communicate with beings far beyond their understanding. Marcus observed all of this with growing confidence. Humanity had been underestimated, but humans were never truly weak. They had survived countless challenges on Earth, faced natural disasters, rival civilizations, and even their own doubts, and they had prevailed every time. Now, facing a species from the stars, Marcus believed they could rise to the occasion once again. As night fell, the alien ships emitted a soft, shimmering glow, bathing Earth in otherworldly light. People gazed up, some in fear, some in wonder, and some with quiet pride. Marcus stood at his observation post, eyes fixed on the largest ship hovering directly above. "They're watching us closely," he said quietly to Private Lou. "Every move we make, every choice we take. They are learning about us, and soon they will know that humans are not to be underestimated." Lou nodded. "Do you think they understand yet?" Marcus smiled faintly. "Not yet. But they will. It's only a matter of time. Back in Washington, scientists continued to decode the alien signals. Patterns emerged, sequences of light that suggested the aliens were not only observing, but also measuring humans' responses to challenges, unpredictability, and problem-solving. Humanity's creativity was being tested, and the results were quietly impressive. Colonel Roberts looked at the radar screens, showing hundreds of alien drones moving across the globe. "They may not realize it yet," he said, "but humans have a way of turning even the impossible into opportunity. They will learn soon enough." In homes, schools, and workplaces, people continued to live their lives, aware of the silent observers above. Children played in parks under the glow of alien lights. Soldiers patrolled city streets, and scientists worked tirelessly to communicate. The entire planet was connected by a single, unspoken understanding. Humanity would not bow. Marcus returned to his tent that night, reviewing the day's events and planning for what might come next. He knew the aliens were studying not just strength, but character, intelligence, and adaptability. Humanity had proven that it was capable of all three. He sat quietly, looking at the night sky. The ships remained silent yet watchful, a reminder that the universe was larger and stranger than anyone had imagined. But Marcus also felt hope. For the first time, he realized that humans were not just surviving, they were being tested and they could excel. The first true encounter with an alien species had begun. Humanity had not attacked, had not surrendered, and had not given up. They had observed, adapted, and acted with intelligence and courage. The aliens may have thought humans were weak, but Marcus and millions of others on Earth were ready to prove otherwise. The night deepened, and the alien ships continued to hover above, a silent promise of challenges to come. Humanity had made its first impression, and it was not one of weakness. Across the planet, Marcus slept lightly, prepared for the next day. Tomorrow, he knew, would bring new tests and new opportunities to show the universe that humans were not fragile, but resilient, resourceful, and strong in ways no one, not even the aliens, had yet imagined. And so, humanity's first true contact with another species in the galaxy continued, not with violence, but with courage, ingenuity, and quiet determination. The aliens may have thought humans were weak, but Marcus and his fellow humans knew the truth. Strength came in many forms, and humans had more than enough to meet any challenge. The world had held its breath for 2 days, watching the alien fleet hover above cities, scanning and observing. Humanity had adapted to their presence, learning to live under the watchful gaze of beings from the stars. But no one expected what happened next. A massive energy pulse emanated from the central alien ship hovering above the Pacific Ocean. It created a visible ripple in the atmosphere, and then a holographic projection appeared in the sky above New York, London, Beijing, and countless other cities simultaneously. The image was larger than any building, glowing with patterns that humans could barely understand. The projection was a message, though not in any language humans had ever seen. Symbols and shapes moved rhythmically, then settled into an arrangement that seemed almost like a diagram. Scientists studied the display frantically. Dr. Elena Rivas, leading the international team of linguists and mathematicians, realized the aliens were issuing a proposal. "They are challenging us," she said slowly, almost in disbelief. "They want to measure human strength and capability, not through war, but through competition. They're offering a contest." In military command centers, the news spread quickly. Humanity's leaders debated the meaning and the risks. Accepting the challenge could be dangerous, but refusing might send a message of weakness. The president made a decisive announcement. Humanity would respond. Marcus Hale was summoned along with a small group of elite soldiers. He entered the command room where the world's top military and scientific minds had gathered. The mood was tense, charged with both fear and hope. Colonel Roberts approached him. "Hale," he said, "you've trained for situations like this, but this is not a normal battle. This is a test of skill, strategy, and human ingenuity. You may face being stronger, faster, and smarter than you. Can you handle it?" Marcus nodded firmly. "We've survived worse, and we'll show them what humans can do." Across the globe, governments selected their representatives. The aliens had clearly stated that this contest was not limited to weapons or brute strength. Each species in their observations had to send a champion. The aliens were confident that humans would fail, assuming physical advantage was the only measure of strength. But Marcus knew better. Strength isn't just muscle, he told Private Liu, who had been assigned to assist him. It's intelligence, courage, creativity, and the willingness to never give up. That's what makes humans strong. The aliens had constructed an enormous arena over a remote, uninhabited area in the Pacific. It hovered in the air, defying gravity, a perfect space for testing every kind of skill. Its walls shimmered with energy fields, its floor floated in layers, and gravity itself could be adjusted by the alien operators. When Marcus arrived, he was struck by the scale. Other species had already arrived, and each was unlike anything he had imagined. One creature was towering with limbs long enough to grab objects across the arena in a single reach. Another was fast, sleek, and covered in reflective armor. A third seemed almost like a cloud of energy that could shift shape at will. The aliens themselves appeared at the edge of the arena, observing silently. They did not speak, yet their presence was overwhelming. Marcus felt a mixture of fear and excitement. This was it. The moment humanity would either prove itself or falter. The first round of the contest began with simple tests of agility. Aliens moved with precision and power, expecting humans to struggle. Marcus's turn arrived. He observed carefully, analyzing the pattern of obstacles and the behavior of the opposing species. Using timing, careful calculation, and speed, he maneuvered through the course flawlessly, dodging challenges that seemed impossible to overcome. The spectators gasped as Marcus not only completed the tasks but also found creative shortcuts the aliens had not anticipated. "It's human ingenuity," Colonel Roberts said into the radio. They didn't expect that. Marcus's confidence grew. He realized that the contest was not about fighting with brute force, but about thinking faster, adapting, and using the environment to his advantage. The aliens watched with growing curiosity, their initial amusement slowly shifting to something else: respect, or at least acknowledgement. The next challenge was strength-based. Marcus faced an opponent twice his size. The alien moved with incredible speed and lifted enormous objects effortlessly. Humans might have failed in a direct confrontation, but Marcus did not confront the alien head-on. Instead, he studied the arena, using levers, pulleys, and balance points to amplify his own power. By applying knowledge and strategy, he was able to move objects that seemed impossible to lift alone. The alien struggled to predict his actions, and Marcus completed the task, earning applause from observers across the galaxy. "Humans think differently," Dr. Rivas noted as she watched the recordings. "They don't rely on raw power alone. They adapt, improvise, and anticipate. That is their greatest strength." The third challenge was speed and reflexes. Marcus's opponent was a blur of movement, dodging and striking with lightning precision. Marcus focused on observing patterns, noticing the subtle shifts before the alien acted. He timed his moves carefully, striking at the exact moment to redirect energy and complete the task. The alien for the first time seemed surprised. "It's not just muscle," one alien observer communicated in a series of signals. "Humans combine thinking with action. They are different." As the day progressed, Marcus faced increasingly difficult tests, some involving puzzles, others testing endurance, balance, and strategy. Every time he relied not on strength alone, but on creativity, observation, and courage. He improvised solutions to problems the aliens assumed would be impossible for humans. With each success, he proved that humans could excel even when the odds were overwhelmingly against them. At one point, a challenge involved navigating a labyrinth filled with shifting walls and traps. Other species tried to charge through, relying on size and speed, but Marcus observed and waited. He studied the labyrinth's rhythm, noticing patterns in the shifting walls. Using logic and careful timing, he moved through the maze efficiently, avoiding dangers that had stopped other competitors. The crowd of spectators, both alien and human, watched in stunned silence as he emerged unscathed. By the end of the first day, Marcus had earned a reputation among the alien observers. They whispered among themselves in complex signals, clearly intrigued by this species that relied on intelligence, courage, and adaptability. Humans were no longer the weakest, they were proving to be unique, unpredictable, and capable. That night, as Marcus rested in the human quarters of the arena, he reflected on the day's events. He had faced beings far stronger and faster than him, yet had prevailed not through force but through ingenuity and courage. Humanity had shown a side the aliens had never considered. Colonel Roberts joined him quietly.
Hale, today you did more than survive.
You showed them the essence of humanity. They underestimated us at first. Tomorrow they will understand that humans are more than just fragile bodies. Marcus nodded, feeling a sense of pride. They thought strength was size and power. They don't understand that humans have resilience, creativity, and determination. That's what makes us dangerous in ways they can't predict. Across the galaxy, reports reached other planets. The story of the human champion spread quickly. Species who had dismissed humans as weak began to reconsider. Observers recorded Marcus's every move, analyzing how a seemingly ordinary species could overcome extraordinary challenges. Meanwhile, Marcus focused on the upcoming rounds. He knew the next challenges would be harder, designed to test every skill he possessed, but he also knew that humans had something the aliens could not measure: spirit. Courage, resilience, and intelligence were qualities that could not be replicated or predicted. As Marcus prepared for the next day, he thought of Earth, his family, friends, and every human who had looked up at the sky in fear and wonder were counting on him. This was more than a contest, it was humanity's chance to prove its place in the universe. The alien ships remained above, silent yet attentive, as if aware that the smallest human action could carry meaning beyond what anyone could comprehend. Marcus slept lightly, dreams filled with strategies, calculations, and the hope that humans would continue to surprise the universe. Tomorrow would bring new tests, new challenges, and new opportunities to show the aliens that humans were not weak, and Marcus was ready to meet them head-on, armed with nothing more than his courage, intelligence, and unwavering determination. Humanity had faced its first true trial in interstellar contact, and it was winning. The universe was beginning to notice that humans were different. Humans were capable of extraordinary acts even in the face of overwhelming odds, and Marcus Hale, standing at the center of the alien arena, was the living proof that strength came in many forms, and that humans possessed a kind of strength that no alien had expected. The arena stretched endlessly beneath the hovering alien ships, a vast field of floating platforms, energy barriers, and shifting obstacles. Marcus Hale stood at the edge of the first combat zone, feeling the hum of energy vibrating through the air. The challenge had changed. Until now, it had been tests of agility, intelligence, and strategy. Now the aliens were ready to push humanity to a new level: combat. Marcus's heart raced, but his mind was steady. He had trained for years for unpredictable scenarios, but nothing could fully prepare him for the alien combatants he faced today. Towering shapes moved in the arena, beings unlike any life form on Earth. Some were immense, with armored skin that glinted like metal. Others were fast and fluid, almost liquid in appearance, moving with a grace Marcus had never seen. Each opponent was stronger, faster, and more powerful than any human soldier. Colonel Roberts' voice came over the comms. "Hale, remember, this is not about brute force. Observe, adapt, and anticipate. Your strength lies in strategy, creativity, and resilience. Use everything you have learned." Marcus nodded, gripping his standard human combat gear. His equipment was simple: lightweight armor, a few basic energy tools, and his weapons. But it was enough if used wisely. He knew that humans' advantage would never be raw power. It would be cunning, adaptability, and courage. The first opponent stepped forward, a giant alien with 4 muscular arms, its skin armored and thick, moving with terrifying speed. The crowd of spectators, both alien and human, watched as Marcus faced what seemed like an impossible adversary. The alien struck first, swinging one massive arm toward Marcus. Instead of attacking directly, Marcus observed, dodging with careful timing and precision. He noticed the alien's pattern. It relied on strength, repeating similar strikes with slight variations. Marcus adjusted his movements, using the environment to his advantage. Floating platforms shifted as he moved, and he jumped from one to another, narrowly avoiding blows that would have crushed a normal human. The audience gasped as Marcus used his smaller size and agility to maneuver in ways the alien could not anticipate. He leaped, ducked, and pivoted, turning defense into offense. Using his energy tool, he created a brief magnetic pulse that caused the alien's foot to slip on the platform. It was a small effect, but enough for Marcus to gain distance and control. "It's clever," whispered one alien observer, transmitting signals to its companions. "Humans do not rely on strength alone. They anticipate, they adapt." Marcus pressed the advantage. He used the alien's momentum against it, redirecting attacks and creating openings to move closer to his objective. A floating orb that marked the end of the challenge. Each step required careful calculation, every leap a combination of timing and courage. By focusing on strategy rather than brute force, Marcus made his way through the combat zone, finally touching the orb. The first round was complete. The aliens paused, their sensors recording everything. Marcus could feel the shift in their attention. The initial amusement had faded. They were curious now, studying the human with serious interest. He had survived the impossible, not by overpowering his enemy but by outthinking it. The next round was even more daunting. Marcus's opponent was smaller but faster, almost like liquid metal, moving with unpredictable shifts in shape. This creature attacked in ways Marcus had never seen. Traditional combat techniques were useless. Every strike had to be timed with precision, every movement observed carefully. Marcus took a deep breath and remembered what he had learned from previous challenges. Observation and creativity were key. He watched the alien's patterns, noting subtle pauses and hints in its movement. Using mirrors scattered across the arena platforms, he reflected the creature's attacks, confusing it momentarily and creating openings. The crowd of aliens murmured among themselves, their signals filled with curiosity. It anticipates differently, reacts unpredictably, uses the environment. It is unlike any other species we have observed. Marcus pressed forward, weaving through the shifting battlefield, using speed and careful planning to outmaneuver his opponent. With a final leap, he activated a device that emitted a pulse, temporarily immobilizing the alien. He crossed the finish line, completing the second round and earning the respect of the alien observers. But the true test was yet to come. The aliens had saved the most difficult challenge for last, a hybrid opponent combining strength, speed, and intelligence. Marcus's heart pounded as he faced the towering creature. Its form shifting and armored, its movements precise and deliberate. He knew that this would push him to his limits. The battle began. The alien struck with incredible force, but Marcus stayed calm. He dodged, countered, and observed. Every attack revealed a subtle pattern. Every movement carried meaning. He realized that brute force alone would not work. He needed to think 3 steps ahead, predict the alien's strategy, and use the environment creatively. Using floating platforms, Marcus baited the alien into overextending its strikes. When it lunged, he shifted the platform beneath it, causing a slight loss of balance. He used ropes and energy lines to create barriers, redirecting the alien's attacks into empty space. Each maneuver required split-second timing and careful observation, but Marcus executed them flawlessly. The alien roared, a sound that reverberated through the arena. But Marcus did not falter. He pressed on, pushing his stamina and focus to the limit. He realized that speed and intelligence combined could overcome even the most powerful force. With careful timing, he struck a precise point on the alien's armor, using leverage to create an opening. Then, with a final burst of energy, he reached the objective, a glowing orb suspended above the battlefield. Touching it, Marcus completed the challenge. The arena fell silent for a moment, then erupted in signals and flashes from the alien observers. For the first time, they were genuinely impressed. "It survives," one of the aliens communicated in signals. "It adapts. It anticipates. It overcomes, not by power, but by intelligence and courage. This species is remarkable." Marcus stood, breathing heavily but triumphant. He looked around the arena, seeing other humans cheering, watching the feed, and realizing that they had accomplished something extraordinary. Humanity had faced beings far beyond their physical capabilities and had prevailed, not through weapons alone, but through ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. Colonel Roberts' voice came over the comms. "Hale, you've done it. Today you've shown the universe what humans are capable of. Remember this moment. You are a symbol of everything humanity represents." Marcus nodded, pride swelling in his chest. He knew that the battle had not only tested his skills but also sent a message across the stars. Humans were not weak. They were resilient, clever, and brave. The aliens had learned something important today, something they had not expected. As night fell over the arena, Marcus and the other human participants reflected on the day's events. Each challenge had been designed to push them beyond their limits, yet they had survived, adapted, and overcome. The aliens had witnessed the full spectrum of human capability, observation, creativity, courage, and perseverance. Even in rest, Marcus's mind raced. Tomorrow would bring new tests, more challenges designed to stretch his limits even further. But he was ready. Humans had faced the impossible countless times before on battlefields, in natural disasters, and in everyday life. Now they faced an opponent from the stars, and Marcus was confident that humanity could rise to the occasion once more. The alien ships hovered above, silent and watchful. Their lights shimmered across the arena, casting shadows on the floating platforms below. Marcus knew they were analyzing every action, every strategy, every decision he had made, but he also knew this. Humans had something no alien could predict. Spirit, courage, creativity, and determination were qualities that could not be measured by size, strength, or technology. And humanity possessed them in abundance. Marcus looked at the horizon, where the last rays of the sun glinted off the alien ships. Tomorrow he would face even greater challenges, but today he had proven that humans were not weak. Today he had shown the universe that even against the most powerful beings, ingenuity and courage could prevail. And somewhere in the alien fleet, the observers recalculated their understanding of humanity. They had assumed weakness. They had assumed fragility. But Marcus Hale had proven that humans were a species to be respected, feared, and admired. The battle had begun, and humanity was already winning. The alien arena was quiet for a brief moment as Marcus Hale caught his breath. The first combat challenges had been overwhelming yet exhilarating. He had faced beings far stronger, faster, and more powerful than any human, and had survived, not through brute force, but through strategy, creativity, and courage. But Marcus knew the aliens would not make the next challenges easy. The arena shifted subtly, platforms moving and reshaping, energy barriers appearing and disappearing. The aliens had observed humanity's ingenuity, and were now designing challenges that would test not just strength or speed, but problem-solving, adaptability, and endurance. Marcus could feel the tension in the air, like the calm before a storm. Colonel Roberts' voice crackled through the comms. "Hale, this next round is about ingenuity. Observation and adaptation are key. Use your environment, your mind, and your instincts. The aliens want to see what humans can do when faced with truly complex situations." Marcus nodded. He understood that this challenge was not just a personal test. It was a demonstration of humanity's potential. Every move he made, every decision would represent not just him but every human on Earth. The first scenario unfolded. A series of floating platforms, some stable and some unstable, extended across a vast void. Suspended above were energy orbs that needed to be collected and placed in designated zones. To make matters more difficult, robotic drones patrolled the platforms, programmed to intercept anyone attempting to complete the task. Marcus studied the pattern carefully. The drones moved in predictable cycles but with incredible speed. Attempting a direct confrontation would be suicide. Instead, Marcus observed the energy barriers in the drones' patrol routes. Using a combination of timing, misdirection, and makeshift tools, he created diversions that lured the drones away, allowing him to collect the orbs safely. Each movement required precise calculation, yet Marcus moved fluidly, balancing speed and caution. The alien observers watched closely, their signals pulsing with curiosity. "It is not only strength," one communicated. "It is planning, prediction, and adaptation. The human calculates, anticipates, and prevails." After completing the first stage, Marcus advanced to a new challenge. This one involved solving a complex puzzle under extreme conditions. The puzzle was a massive structure of interlocking parts, shifting platforms, and energy barriers. The components moved unpredictably, requiring rapid thinking, dexterity, and careful observation. Marcus quickly analyzed the puzzle, identifying patterns and weak points. Using his tools and improvisation, he adjusted the platforms, redirecting energy flows to create new pathways. Every step was deliberate. Every decision mattered. He worked steadily, solving the puzzle faster than the aliens had anticipated, a demonstration of human resourcefulness under pressure. The aliens were clearly impressed. Whispers of signals passed among them, their assessment of humanity shifting further. Humans were not fragile. They were clever, quick-thinking, and adaptable, qualities that no physical advantage alone could measure. Marcus faced another test immediately after. This one was endurance-based, requiring him to navigate a maze filled with traps, moving platforms, and hazardous energy zones. Other species attempted to rush through, relying on strength or speed, but Marcus knew better. He observed, waited, and adapted his approach to the environment. He noticed subtle cues, vibrations in the floor, shifts in the barriers, and timing patterns in the traps. With patience and careful planning, Marcus moved efficiently through the maze. He used ropes, pulleys, and energy lines to manipulate moving platforms, creating safe paths where none seemed possible. He avoided hazards with precision, showing that human ingenuity could overcome even the most difficult conditions. Private Liu, watching the feed from the human quarters, whispered, "He's incredible. No alien has ever solved it like that." Marcus pressed on, knowing that every challenge was designed to push him to the limits of human capability. The aliens wanted to see not just physical skill, but the ability to innovate, adapt, and survive. And humanity was proving itself in ways the aliens could not predict. The next stage combined multiple elements: strength, agility, puzzle solving, and quick thinking. Marcus faced a hybrid challenge where he needed to move large blocks to specific locations, avoid shifting barriers, and solve energy puzzles while under observation by drones and alien sensors. Marcus paused, taking a deep breath. He analyzed the entire layout, recognizing opportunities where the obstacles themselves could become tools. Using levers and pulleys, he manipulated the large blocks, redirecting energy fields to create new pathways. He moved with careful precision, anticipating the shifting barriers and drones' patrols. The alien observers were amazed. They had never seen such adaptation from any other species. "It is not strength alone," one transmitted in signals. "It is ingenuity, observation, and determination. The human uses the environment as a tool, turning challenges into opportunities." As Marcus advanced through the final stages, he faced a complex energy puzzle combined with a moving opponent, an alien faster and stronger than any he had encountered. This time, brute force would not work. Marcus relied entirely on strategy. He observed the opponent's patterns, used decoys to distract it, and manipulated the environment to limit its movements. Timing and clever use of tools allowed him to bypass the alien's attacks and reach the goal. Completing the challenge, Marcus paused, breathing heavily but triumphant. The alien observers pulsed with signals of admiration. They had assumed humans were weak. They had assumed humans would fail in combat, in strategy, in ingenuity. But Marcus had demonstrated that humans were exceptional, capable of thinking, adapting, and overcoming where sheer power alone would fail. Colonel Roberts spoke through the comms, pride evident in his voice. "Hale, today you have not only survived but excelled. Humanity's ingenuity is on full display. They underestimated us, and now they are learning that humans are different, unpredictable, and extraordinary." Marcus looked across the arena, realizing that this was more than just a contest. It was a lesson for the universe. Humans had survived countless challenges on Earth, and now they were proving themselves on an interstellar stage. It was not physical strength alone that made them formidable. It was the combination of intelligence, creativity, courage, and resilience. As the arena shifted for the final stage, Marcus reflected on what had brought him here. Years of training, careful observation, and unwavering determination had prepared him to face the impossible. But it was humanity itself, the collective spirit of humans facing adversity, adapting, and thriving, that gave him the edge. The last challenge combined every element Marcus had faced so far: moving obstacles, energy fields, drones, puzzles, and a powerful alien opponent. It was designed to push him to the limits, to test whether human ingenuity could truly overcome the advanced capabilities of an alien species. Marcus studied the layout, noting patterns and opportunities. He moved deliberately, using every skill he had learned and every resource available. He distracted drones, manipulated barriers, solved puzzles, and outmaneuvered his alien opponent. Step by step, he advanced toward the final goal, balancing speed with careful calculation. When he finally reached the target, a glowing orb suspended in the center of the arena, he touched it, completing the challenge. The alien observers pulsed with signals that Marcus interpreted as acknowledgement and respect. They had assumed humans were weak, fragile, and incapable. But Marcus had proven otherwise. Even the other species in the arena watched with newfound interest. Humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, thinkers, and problem solvers. The combination of courage, intelligence, and creativity had allowed a human to overcome challenges designed for beings far stronger and faster. Colonel Roberts's voice broke through the comms one last time for the day. "Hale, you have done more than complete the challenges. You have shown the universe that humans are not to be underestimated. Your ingenuity, adaptability, and determination represent every person on Earth. Today, humanity has earned respect among the stars." Marcus smiled, exhaustion mixed with pride. He knew the challenges would continue, and each would become more difficult. But today he had proven the strength of the human spirit. Intelligence, courage, and adaptability were powerful tools, sometimes stronger than the most advanced weapons. As night fell over the arena, Marcus rested, reflecting on the day's victories. The alien fleet remained above, silent and watchful, recording every detail, but the observations had changed. The aliens were no longer dismissive, they were intrigued. Humanity had exceeded expectations, showing that strength was more than physical power. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, tests that would continue to push Marcus and humanity further. But for now, Marcus allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. Humans were not weak. They were capable, resilient, and full of ingenuity, and the universe was beginning to see it. Across Earth, millions watched the feeds of Marcus's performance. Families, scientists, soldiers, and children saw a human facing incredible odds and prevailing. The message was clear. Humans were not fragile, and humanity's potential was limitless. And somewhere in the alien fleet, observers recalculated their understanding of humanity. What they had assumed to be weak, fragile, and predictable was, in reality, clever, adaptable, and